welcome to my kitchen. In today's recipe, I'm going to show you how to make a lady's finger or the okra stir fry. It's also known as Bhindi Tamatar Ki Sabzi or the Bhindi Masala. Bhindi is a very fairly tricky vegetable to cook because it can get mushy and soggy. So in this video recipe, I'm going to demystify the entire cooking process so you can be a rock star in your kitchen. So without wasting any time, let's dive right in and start cooking. Now to make the Bhindi Tamatar Sabzi, I'm going to show you first of how to choose a good quality bhindi, that is a lady's finger or the okra. So it is important to choose slender bhindis, that is a lady's finger, and you will know that it is of good quality when you actually break the end and it'll just snap out very easily without any fiber. If your bhindi has too many thorns and you can feel that it's rough and hard, then maybe it's not great to make a bhindi sabji, because then you will have a lot of seeds inside and it can make the sabji really gooey. So now that's how you choose a bhindi. And our next step, I'm going to show you how to cut it. There are multiple ways you can cut it to make the Bhindi Tamatar Sabzi. Remove the stem and cut it into half. You can either leave it like this as a half or cut this further into half if your bhindis are nice and slender, like this one. It's really slender and it's very soft too. So this is how you would cut a bhindi for the Bhindi Tamatar Sabzi. Now let's just go in and see how to make the Bhindi Masala. To begin making the Bhindi Tamatar Sabzi or the Bhindi Masala, I have a preheated heavy pan. You could also use a wok or a kadai to make the Bhindi Sabzi. Into the pan, I'm going to add in the oil and the onions. We're going to saute the onions until they are lightly tender and translucent. I'm not going to make it caramelized or browned. This will take for about a couple of minutes. Notice that after a couple of minutes of stir frying, the onions have become lightly tender. At this stage, I'm going to add in the bhindi, lady's finger, also known as the okra. I'm going to leave the seeds behind. If you have any seeds, just leave them out because they make the bhindi a little more gooey. We'll add in the salt. We'll stir in the salt and we'll cover the pan and allow the bhindi to cook on low to medium heat for about 3 to 5 minutes. Make sure that you keep monitoring the bhindi at this stage because it'll release a lot of moisture. As soon as you notice the bhindi is softened a little bit, you have to open it so it doesn't become too soggy with the moisture. Notice after about 5 minutes it's been simmering and the bhindi is lightly softened. It still has its green color and there is a little bit of moisture but not too much. And this is exactly the consistency that we want. If you leave it for a little longer, it can get a little gooey. So at this stage, we're going to cook the bhindi along with a little more spices. It's not completely cooked as yet. Going to add in the turmeric powder, a dash of garam masala powder and the coriander powder. Give it a stir. You could also add chili powder if you like, it's optional. And just toss the bhindi. Don't stir it in like a halwa because you don't want the bhindi pieces to break. We'll add in the tomatoes. Now this is going to have add additional moisture to the bhindi masala. But hence the reason we're going to cook it a little differently at this stage. So give it a stir and we'll take the lid again. I'm going to place the handle of the spoon underneath so the lid will remain open slightly ajar, allowing a little moisture to escape, at the same time retaining some moisture to cook the bhindi through. The bhindi is perfectly cooked. Notice that the tomatoes are softened and it's not become too mushy and squashed up. and it's just perfect and ready to be served along with your tawa parathas or phulkas. I hope you enjoyed watching the recipe of how to make the Bhindi Tamatar Sabzi, and I've demystified the cooking process of how to make this vegetable. It's really not that difficult, it is quite simple. Do give it a try in your kitchen. When you do, don't forget to share your feedback in the comments below. I'd love to hear back from you. And don't forget to subscribe to my kitchen channel as well. Until then, until next time, happy cooking and healthy eating.